Welcome, everyone. So before the iconic yellow tracksuit, before the explosive Hollywood blockbusters, and way before he was universally recognized as a global icon, Bruce Lee was, well, he was simply a young student desperately searching for answers. Today, in this explainer, we're going to explore the fascinating journey of how that student built himself into an absolute legend. We're looking at the architects of the dragon, the teachers, the fighting styles, and the foundational ideas that quite literally constructed Bruce Lee from the ground up. Get ready, because this is an absolute masterclass in how to build a legacy.
Okay, let's dive right into this. You see, the traditional path for a martial artist has almost always been about absolute loyalty to a single system, right? Basically spending an entire lifetime mastering one specific style. But Bruce Lee? He was completely different. He didn't just want to learn a style, he was on this revolutionary, almost architectural quest for universal truths about combat. Bruce Lee's path was entirely about mastering universal principles. He wanted to understand the mechanics of human movement and the raw geometry of a fight, totally regardless of where those lessons actually came from.
Part 1. The Quest for Real Skill. 1950s Hong Kong.
To really understand how he started building this foundation, we've got to look back at the chaotic, super vibrant energy of 1950s Hong Kong. I mean, this was a city just buzzing with competition and conflict. As a young man, Bruce Lee was utterly fearless, frequently finding himself caught up in neighborhood street fights. But very quickly, he realized a hard truth. Surviving a real fight requires a whole lot more than just raw courage and anger. It requires a solid, structural foundation of real skill. That realization led him straight to the legendary Wing Chun grandmaster, Ip Man. And this brilliantly illustrates how he got his first real building blocks, those core principles of Wing Chun: centerline theory, direct attacks, economy of motion, relaxation under pressure, and of course, balance and structure. Ip Man introduced Bruce to a world where fighting was entirely stripped of anger and replaced with pinpoint control and intense discipline. Through endless, repetitive, calming Wing Chun drills, Bruce wasn't just learning punches. He was literally hardwiring his nervous system. He was building speed, impeccable timing, and razor-sharp precision, day after day.
Part 2. The Crucible of Combat. Testing the Forms.
Now, here is where the story shifts gears. We leave the calm discipline of repetitive drills behind. Because, let's be honest, it is one thing to have perfect form when you're practicing in a quiet courtyard, but it is an entirely different beast when you step out into the gritty, intense reality of an actual fight. Think about it. What happens when combat gets truly unpredictable? Perfect forms are beautiful, sure, but they can create this dangerous illusion of safety. Out on the street, there are no rules, no referees, and absolutely no perfect scenarios. Bruce desperately needed to know if this structural foundation he was building could actually withstand the sheer chaos of a pressurized street fight.
Enter Wong Shun Leung. Wong was famous across Hong Kong not for beautiful forms, but for his brutal, highly practical fighting experience. When Bruce trained with Wong, the intensity completely skyrocketed. Wong taught him distance management, counterattacking, timing, and crucially, fighting under intense stress. He punished every single mistake Bruce made immediately. He systematically exposed every weakness, proving to Bruce that techniques are completely useless if they don't hold up structurally under the crushing unpredictability of a real opponent actively trying to take your head off.
Part 3. Expanding the striking arsenal. Looking beyond tradition.
Let's move to and see how this builds his overall framework. Bruce now had a really solid foundation, but he knew it just wasn't complete. So he made a deeply controversial decision for the time. He decided to look far beyond the traditional Eastern arts. He realized he needed to add entirely new pillars to his fighting structure, regardless of their geographic origin. On one side, he embraced Western boxing, a style traditionalists completely dismissed back then. But Bruce, he saw its immense value. He studied its dynamic footwork, elusive head movement, and devastating combination punching. He loved how boxers could generate massive power while staying completely mobile. On the other side, an unexpected influence: fencing. No way, right? But Bruce was absolutely obsessed with a fencer's precision, their masterful control of range, and their explosive, lightning-fast entry attacks. He started seamlessly weaving the rhythm and mobile power of boxing together with the unmatched range control of a fencing master.
From his intense study of fencing, he extracted one singular, highly vital concept: intercepting the opponent before their attack could fully develop. This wasn't just a physical tactic. This actually became the vital philosophical anchor for his entire approach to life and combat. Don't just block and then hit back. Hit them while they're trying to hit you. Intercept their intention. It's brilliant.
Part 4. Mastering the ground game. Preparing for the unseen.
Now, what's really interesting about this next breakdown is that even with these incredible striking upgrades, Bruce's analytical mind spotted a glaring structural flaw in almost all striking arts.
They completely ignore the reality that a fight doesn't always stay on its feet. Bruce knew that to be a complete martial artist, he had to be comfortable wherever the fight went. So he methodically dissected grappling. From wrestling, he extracted the brutal efficiency of balance control, takedowns, clinch fighting, and positional dominance. From judo, he absorbed the physics of throws, sweeps, off-balancing opponents, and maximizing leverage. He wasn't just collecting fancy techniques to show off, He was actively searching for universal truths about human bodies in conflict. This truly proves his forward-thinking holism decades before mixed martial arts ever became mainstream.
Part 5. The Ultimate Synthesis. The Masterpiece.
All of these years of relentless study, of taking hits, of challenging tradition, it all led Bruce Lee to a monumental climax. He reached this profound realization: no single martial art, anywhere in the world, holds every answer. Every system has strengths, for sure, but every system also has limits. It was finally time to fuse the most effective principles he had gathered into one cohesive structure, and here is his architectural masterpiece. Jeet Kune Do, translated as the way of the intercepting fist. This was a revolutionary synthesis. Bruce Lee literally threw away the rigid locks of tradition. He wasn't creating just another style with a new set of rules. He was creating a highly dynamic system built entirely on physical freedom and continuous, unending evolution.
So, the crucial point is how Jeet Kune Do was built on these core tenets: simplicity, directness, efficiency, speed, timing, and above all, adaptability. I really want to emphasize that adaptability is the key word here. This explainer has shown how Bruce took pieces from literally everywhere. Jeet Kune Do was a philosophy that demanded fighters to think critically on their feet and adapt to the exact opponent right in front of them, rather than blindly following some memorized set of moves.
Which brings us to perhaps his most legendary maxim, famously stated by the man himself: absorb what is useful, reject what is useless, add what is specifically your own. This single quote is the absolute distillation of his entire martial arts journey. It's the ultimate synthesis. It is an amazing blueprint for martial arts, yes, but it's also an incredibly powerful blueprint for personal growth and learning in any field.
Because ultimately, Bruce Lee's greatest achievement wasn't just being a really fast puncher or learning from a long list of masters. His absolute greatest achievement was proving that knowledge has no limits. He transformed all these disparate lessons from Hong Kong street fights, Wing Chun forms, Western boxing rings, and judo mats into a beautifully unified legacy that permanently changed the landscape of combat forever.
But, mastering combat was really only the first phase of his architecture. He had built the ultimate physical philosophy, but how on earth was he going to share it with the rest of the planet? Next up, the rise to Hollywood. How exactly did Bruce Lee take this radical philosophy of combat and use it to change martial arts movies forever? Think about that for a bit, and we'll see you in the next explainer.
Be water, my friend. Yeah! The key to immortality is first living a life worth remembering.